Alrighty, welcome. I am Isabella Tisver. If you don't know me, I am a life coach, I am a guide, I am a healer, I am an artist, I'm an author, I am a lot of things. I'm wearing a lot of hats and I'm really proud of this. It took me a while to get to the point where I acknowledge that about me, where I actually was happy calling myself different names, because we live in the life where we need to have some tags attached to us. So I am all of these things, but for the purpose of this life, of this meeting today, I want to say that I am also the highest law certified guide and instructor. What is the highest law technique and tool, and all of this I will explain in a minute, but I want to just tell you from little bit from my perspective. This is the technique I learned 2 years ago, and it is something that my soul, my heart was searching for it all life. And it is something that my soul and heart knew about a long time ago. It just didn't have a name for it. It just didn't know how to put this in the living on this planet Earth. It didn't know how to use it for bettering myself in a way that I acknowledge myself as a whole, in a way that I am seen, in a way that I care for myself deeply. Not only for those parts of me that are happy, joyful, and not problematic, so-called, but most importantly, for all these parts that are in the shadow, that are rejected by me at some point, that are unresourceful, that are alone, lonely, that are forgotten. So I'm working with this technique, and I learned that technique primarily to work with myself at the beginning, but eventually I developed this tool with the help of my amazing mentors. And something on Facebook just ended. Return. Sorry for this, but if that's the case, I may need to go with Instagram and then repost it. Sorry for that. I'm going to go back to Facebook and see if that works. Looks like it's okay, but let's see. If it happens again, I apologize for those of you who are watching on Facebook. Facebook is giving me some problems. If I see hello, those who are on Facebook. Facebook is giving me some problems, and if I see that there is another problem, and it will stop my life just without even me touching anything, then I may just continue on Instagram. Please join me on the Instagram at Authentic Wellbeing. And if that doesn't help, I promise I'll repost this video on my Facebook as soon as it's downloaded from Instagram. Sorry for that. So continue. I learned that technique, I learned that tool 2 years ago, started working on myself, eventually developed it to work and use it in my life coaching processes with other clients. I can say that it's been an adventure. It's been an adventure mainly because the processes that are happening for my clients are also happening for myself. When my client is going through a process, I'm going through that process with my own self, in my own way, at my own pace as well. Welcome everyone who is joining me again, and let's continue. So we are going to talk today about, hello everyone, about the highest law technique that I've learned, that I'm using, and I would like you to learn for yourself. Yes, you can learn it for yourself. Yes, you don't need to learn and become in a way that you need to become a certified guide, certified teacher in order to use it for yourself. You can simply, we are offering, this is what I love about this technique, a tool that you can learn for yourself, and you can take it and use it in your life for yourself without further pursuing anything in order to work with others. But of course, for those of you who would like to include that tool in your own practices for not only yourself but also with others, for your clients, that's also welcomed and possible. So what is that THL? THL, Polish it's THL, in English THL, which is abbreviation for the highest law. What is that all about? The highest law technique is the technique to work on a deeper grounds with yourself, which is your soul. Which is your soul. If the word soul is a triggering part for you, I would ask, look into it. Why is it triggering? Sit with that trigger. But on the other side, if you, for this life, this is kind of session already, but for this purpose of this life, change it into life force sitting in yourself, your heart, whatever that is. THL works with your with your soul. THL works with the deep plans, deep attachments, deep shadows, deep parts of you that are inside of you that create you as a whole. And again, Facebook Live disconnected. I'm sorry. I'm going to continue here on Instagram then, which is maybe I'm doing something in here. Anyway, so this is the technique to work with every part of you. So imagine yourself, I really love that analogy that I'm using very often, that there are puzzles in the box that you have and you just threw them on the table, right? And then there are some puzzles that are upside down, but there are puzzles that are flipped over. There are puzzles that are maybe somewhere in the corner of your table, maybe some parts drop down on the ground. Now, what would you do in order to work on the piece as a whole? You would flip over those who flipped upside down. You would pick up those ones that are on the floor. You would tend to those pieces that got lost somewhere on the edges of your table, gather them together to have a view of every single piece so you can start working on that piece as a whole. The same is us. We are whole. We are whole. We are born whole. Our soul is not broken. Our soul can be lost, can be unresourceful, can be seeking, but our soul is not broken. And us, we are not broken. Our body, physical body, can have different alignments, can have different things happening, but we are not broken. We are not falling apart. And if we do, we gather those pieces together and tend to all of them. THL is a technique to tend to every single part of you. Those shadowy ones, those dark ones, those forgotten ones, those abandoned ones, the ones that are totally lost, unresourceful, that are totally undefined, that are forgotten. And this is where the real process starts. It's not easy. I'm telling you, it is not easy. But isn't it freeing and liberating? Oh, heck yes, it is. It is fully liberating. This is just enormous amount of liberation that is happening later on. It is literally as if you were in a dark room looking for the switch, and you hit yourself multiple times, because you're trying to find that switch, and you hit yourself with, other furnitures, with pieces that are around in that room until you get to that switch and you are able to switch it on. It is that moment when you go through that shadows, when you get hit, but then you recognize what's happening. You acknowledge that, yes, I got hit. Yes, there is dark side in here. Yes, there are dark moments in here, but I am on my way to the switch, to that liberation, to that process to unravel what's on that other side of that darkness. This what is very important to know, and I admire about not only this technique, but what's happening when I include it in my sessions with others and myself, that meeting with darkness in a way that you know you are guided, you know you are supported by higher self, but highest love. It is a way different process than if you are trying to swim in this darkness without any type of rope, light at the end of the tunnel, without any support. And THL is providing that, is showing you that you are, even if those pieces are dropped down right now, even if you are in the process of gathering them together, even if you are in process of rejecting some of them, you can meet yourself, you can meet those other parts of yourself while being supported, because the highest law is this power, that power that is creating all of us, that power that is unlimited, that power that is supporting us every single time we need. The only thing we need is to ask for it. The only thing we need is to take responsibility of our soul plan. And this is what THL is also helping you with, or teaching you, or guiding you through, rather, I would say, is about acknowledging that this is your authorship. This is you scribbling and writing that manuscript for yourself. It is you who are writing it, and it is also you who can rewrite it. It is you who potentially created it, but it is you who can recreate it, co-create, and create again and again. It is you who can make a decision today at every single meeting with yourself that you want differently, that you want to change something, that you are willing to go deeper into your soul, into your plan, soul's plan, to discover, okay, what is my soul trying to plan here? What is my soul trying to play at and with? Why my soul is trying to reject people, is playing the game where I am rejecting people, but on a deep level, I actually want to be seen and I want to be loved. Because those are the paradoxes happening in our life. So to give you an example, how many times there is, let's say, imagine the person that was really abandoned, neglected in a childhood. That person is really wanting to be just loved. And that person is meeting people in their life that the moment they start loving that person, she's or he's rejecting them. They reject them because it's too much. Like, from one side, that person is seeking love, is wanting to be loved, but from other side is rejecting when that love comes, when too much of that love comes, right? So there are those unresolved, totally irrational and not logical parts of concepts, events happening that logically with our brain we cannot explain and describe. But on the soul's level, we are playing that game for some purpose. There are always a secondary gains to some processes, to many of our processes. So to sum up, what's THL technique? The highest law technique is a technique that is guiding you to get deeper to your soul, to your heart, to the soul's plan. Tend to those pieces of yourself who are forgotten, who were not taken care of, who were neglected. Take ownership of the fact of these plans, of those concepts, knowing that you are creator and you can recreate them, knowing that you can make different decisions, knowing that you can change those decisions. You can. And right in this moment, I tell you that one of the biggest motto I have coming from THL is, do not abandon yourself. Don't abandon yourself. The moment we reject, the moment we are trying to bypass something, the moment we are trying to just avoid something, we are abandoning ourselves. We are abandoning part of ourselves, meaning ourselves, because that part is you. You are that part is you. And that's one of the biggest motto that I carry with me especially in the moments when I do feel that I am doing that. Do not abandon yourself. Hug yourself. Hug yourself. Give yourself time. Give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to be human. To be human in the human body, but also to be soul that can be lost, can be unresourceful, can be seeking. So that's THL. And if you do have more questions, please let me know. What this technique can help me with? That was another question. I have here questions written which I received. What this technique can help me with? So this technique can help you with, if I say everything, I may sound cliche, I may sound, okay, every technique helps me with everything, right? What's the difference? The difference is, and maybe now I will go in, maybe I'll answer to that question, what this technique can help me with, together with the another question that was given and asked me, what's the difference between THL and other techniques? And that way I may answer to both of these questions, answering once. The difference between this technique, the THL technique and different techniques is, most importantly, tending to every part of yourself. We are here not abandoning any part of ourselves. We are actually seeking inside of us during the session those forgotten parts, to tend to them during the session, to see them, to acknowledge them, to recognize them. That's the first thing. Many techniques out there are bypassing, many techniques are teaching us to avoid those parts of us that are negative, that are bad, that are, spiraling down and so on. And I've been there million years. Okay, not million years, maybe million years, depending how many lives my soul had before. But I've been there all my life, all my self-development life. And it was struggling to some point, because it was like a battle. There was me and there wasn't me, right? There were moments when there was me that I didn't like, and there was me that I needed to reject. There was me that I was rejecting it because I didn't like what that me was doing. There was that disconnection between me and me, because somehow we are taught that this negative part, that part that may be depressive, may be lazy, may be unproductive, may be demotivated, and etc., is bad. And in THL, we are tending to everybody. We are gathering all parts of ourselves. Here you are as a whole. Here you are as a whole. You may feel like disconnected. You may feel like some pieces of you are dropping off you. You are losing yourself. There is that, expression, I'm losing myself. But we are here to tend to all these parts of you. We are here to find these pieces of you, gather them together, and take care of them. Take care of them. Acknowledge and recognize them. See them, hear them out, see them out. So this is what THL is helping us in the term of our living on the planet Earth, is how that would resonate and help us with the life here, right? Because, okay, Isabella, how that resonates to the life here. This can be really helpful in so many different areas of your life. Relationships with yourself, relationship with others, relationships with your partners, spouses, family members, kids, etc. So any type of relationships, not only with people, but also relationships with items, material items, relationship with money, relationship with work, relationship with groups, relationship with values, relationship with systems. Seriously, as far as that, like, there are people showing up at my sessions that do struggle with, for example, the group they belong to. I don't know, is it a live group, maybe a church group, maybe some kind of sisterhood group. They are struggling, or they are being triggered by that person in there or something. So we are working on what's the concept in there. What is your soul playing here? What type of script your soul wrote in here? What your soul is trying to accomplish potentially here? Why your soul is using this concept to feel lost, to feel unresourceful? Because our souls are creating the concepts many times to actually disconnect from the source, disconnect from the life sources, because they may have an idea that it will be better without that resources, without that higher law, that highest law, that's, life force or self, a higher self. So it is really working on that concept, also in terms of those bigger systemic expressions like groups, values, systems, right? I remember working on myself because there was a moment when I was extreme activist and I really wanted to be an activist, and I felt that having that activist name on me would sound good, would make me more important, would make me better than everyone else. Yet I was so triggered, I couldn't read any single post without getting activist post without being triggered. I had that attitude that was feisty and very fighting. Like, there was so many things, and it wasn't really helping me. I thought that activism will be something that will give me that importance, but in reality it was pushing me down to the moments when I was very demotivated, very depressive like, and I didn't want to do anything with anybody because I felt overwhelmed at some point. So working through THL, either by myself or with other guides, yes, we do sessions for each other's too. Yes. This is a constant process. As we are going forward, we are observing our triggers, we are observing ourselves, we are observing our relationships to things that are happening in our life, and seeing if those are something that we create in order to disconnect from ourselves and disconnect from the source, or is it really resonating with us? Is it really what our soul is seeking and wanting and finding a joy in it? Because THL is truly, and if you look even at our life, if you look at our souls, I'll be blunt right now. Seriously, people, seriously. Our souls and our lives, we are seeking to be loved, to be joyful, to be harmonious, to be creative, to be ourselves in our fullest truth. All these external things in the life, job, paying bills, money, cars, houses, items, I need to, I cannot, all these things are just the material expression of those inner needs that we are looking for. Our soul is wanting to develop to the point that it will feel peaceful, calm, loving, joyful. It will be at some kind of harmony and balance. Harmony and balance are literally two different concepts which we see in THL, but if you are interested, I may explore on it. If not, let me move forward. So THL can work on all these different relationships, which you can see. Those could affect any part of your life. I have all of us guides, and we are gathered together on one of our website that I can provide you. It's the highestlaw.com website, where you can look at certified guides. And if you are looking for example, having such a session, you can look the guide that you resonate with the most. We are providing our bio, what we are working with, mostly what we providing to the potential client, and you can find that guide. There are English speaking guides, there are Polish speaking guides, there are Czech speaking guides, there are Spanish speaking guides, or Italian. So there are different speaking guides on that website too. The website is in Polish and in English, so you are more than welcome to explore it, thehighestlaw.com. And if you are looking for a session, for example, if you resonate with me, hit me up. We can set up something and see how that works for you. Anyway, also THL can work on the physical illnesses, physical discomfort. It can. It can, because physical discomfort, physical illnesses are also, they can be symptoms of something happening in the soul, or there can be resources of something happening in the soul. So, for example, there can be some illness that is trying to tell us, go back to your soul and resolve it. Something is like alert. Or there could be some illnesses that are the result of something happening deeper. There is always root cause of it. And I believe strongly, because I've seen it, I observed it, I witnessed it, among others, and in my own life. So now I will stand very firmly my ground, knowing what I'm saying, because it is such deep process. What is the difference between THL and other techniques? It is primarily the fact that it does not play the game with bypassing. It's not bypassing, it's not avoiding, no. It is actually, come on here, we going into that swamp. We are going in that swamp, no matter what, right now, right this moment. However, that is not happening like this. Of course, it's not, because no guide will force you to go somewhere where you don't want to go. However, the guide will guide you through the path, reminding you of the resources that you have access to, and you can choose to access them any moment, reminding you that there is a source, highest self or life force energy that is supporting you, and you can also ask for help, so you can go to those swamps, deep parts of yourself. THL, also what I like about it is that after the session, we are always finishing the session that let those transformations happen for you, for the highest good of yourself, for your highest good. How does that look like? Neither I nor you will know exactly. We are also working on opening our clients to the third solution. The third solution is neither A nor B. It is in the middle. Like, finally, also during this technique, but also in our society, we are learning that there is no 0 and 1, but there is also an entire spectrum in between 0 and 1. There is an entire spectrum between 0 and 100%. The same in hey, I lost my flow. The same in the THL technique. We are opening up to the fact that there are options in between. There are solutions in between. So it is that third, fourth, fifth, 10th solution. What is this? Many times, logically, we have no clue. Logically, we will not have a clue. Why? Because our brain have clue only about the things that knows from the past and experiences. Anything that is unknown, our brain doesn't know, didn't learn that yet. And it's okay. Basically, didn't learn that, okay, so doesn't know yet, right? But our soul, our heart knows better. And there is that third solution. So we are helping our guides to open to that third solution. And I tell you something, how third solutions are happening. I will share one of our guides and instructor, actually the co-creator of the technique, Eva, recent message to me, how she was going somewhere and really she was going to some meeting and she was kind of running late, but she really wanted to have at least an hour of a walk before that meeting, because I don't know, maybe she knew she's going to be sitting in that meeting for a long time, and she's like, dang, I'm not going to have that hour of my walk, right? So okay, there was either I have a walk or I don't have a walk, right? If I have a walk, I'm late for a meeting. If I don't have a walk, then at least I won't be late for a meeting. But she opened herself up. She said that as she was getting late and going to that meeting, she decided to do little mini THL session for herself, because this is how we do those sessions. Sometimes I do one on my way to work. And to her third solution surprise, it happened that the meeting she was headed to was moved to another building or place which she needed to walk towards, and in the end happened that she had her 1 hour walk because she needed to go somewhere else farther. Those are the third solutions that are happening and will be happening if you open yourself, if you ask for it, if you open yourself for it. And this is how we end up our session. So now, the difference between this technique and other techniques is that when we finish the session, there are those third solutions and other opportunities going to be opening for yourself. Does that mean that now you will suddenly get opened up, or something will be presented to you in the form of different technique to work on yourself? Yes. THL doesn't exclude other techniques. THL is opening you to the options for your highest good. Are those options in the form of different techniques? Go for it. I had client which signed up to the hospital for a procedure that she was so avoiding because she was triggered by it. She didn't feel it well in her body. Her soul didn't want that plan, right? Or wrote a different plan to maybe keep that physical alignment active in order for her to maybe be a victim. And then the story was, if she, for example, fix that stuff, she's not going to be a victim, so maybe she won't be loved by other people or taken care of. So there are those deep stories underneath. And she, after the technique, we did, I think, 1 or 2 sessions, I don't remember, she signed up herself for the procedure and she had it fixed. So THL is not rejecting other techniques, it's opening you for any options for your highest good. What are those options? It is up to you, up to your soul to choose. And you go for it. If you go for it, there is really amazing world opening up for you. It is. It is a truly free place where you can finally be steady, calm, quiet, where you can be harmonious. And maybe it's time for me to explain what's harmony and balance. When we talk about balance, there is always that connotation that it needs to be even, right? We envision that weight scale that is always, in balance. So the balance is to bring both of these parts to the same level, right? But life doesn't work like that. Soul doesn't work like that. And life like that can be also life and can be very harmonious, can be very joyful life too. And in THL, we are inviting and connecting with the harmony, because sometimes and many times in our life, there is never 50-50. There is never 50-50. But does it need to be 50-50 in order to live joyfully, in order to live harmoniously, in order to love, in order to be loved? No. And that's another very, very big concept, systemic even concept, that we can work on your soul level with, to also reframe, to find a different path, to make different decisions, to choose differently, to take ownership and move with it into different world that you can create and co-create. Are there any other questions? I know there are people watching, and of course Facebook disconnected totally. I have no clue why, what. I'm sure I will have my own THL session. What was it that I kind of disconnected Facebook audience from hearing what I had to say today? Maybe I was afraid to receive some messages. I don't know what was it, but something happened in here, definitely, on my soul level. So let me check. You are not having any questions here. I'm checking if there are any questions on Facebook, because people could, you know, could message me. I don't see any. Okay, and over here I don't see any as well. I think I answered. Oh yeah, one last thing. I wanted you I wanted to invite you to the workshop self-care. It's self-care. It's like pure self-care. I should have added the words pure self-care. The workshop self-care that is going to teach you the basics of this technique for your own usage. So you could use it for yourself, not for clients, not for certification, nothing like that. It is for yourself. Yes, I was on Facebook waiting, so I missed the first part. Michelle, Facebook disconnected me 3 times. So I was on, but after 3 minutes it's disconnected. I tried to reconnect. I did for the second time, again disconnected, and I tried to reconnect. Basically it didn't work. So I'm sorry, but this live, hopefully I will be able to save it here, and I'm going to repost it hopefully on Facebook as well as in my Facebook group, the Soul, Heart and Body Whisper, my private Facebook group. Also, if you would like to join that Facebook group to see what we are up for, it's the Body, Soul, Heart Whisper. I think it's it's Heart, Soul and Body Whisper group. I always say it upside down. So sorry for that, Michelle. I hope you will be able to re-listen to it at some point as well. Anyway, I wanted to invite you for that workshop. The workshop will take place on the 21st to 23rd April. It's over 3 days. It's on Friday for 2 hours, on Saturday for up to 5 hours with breaks, and on Sunday up to 5 hours for also with breaks. On Friday we are meeting from 6 to 8 p.m. Mountain Time. On Saturday and Sunday we are meeting at 9 to 2 p.m. 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mountain Time, and I will be not only teaching you about the technique, but we will do a group sessions, most likely 2. I managed to do 2. We will do Q&As, we will work, and you will have an opportunity to have a session with me in the group setting, and we will practice your skills too. So that way, after the workshop, you could go and be able to connect to your soul and do the THL session at your own pace with your own self. Of course, there are concepts and problems that our soul is creating, which might be way deeper, way more complicated, and you may need help and support. That's why there are guides like me to support you and help you with. But the workshop is about teaching you to use that technique for yourself as often as possible, for as many things as possible. So you can go out there and be creating that liberation, freedom, that connection to your parts, every part of your body, every part of your soul, actually, on a daily basis. Because it can be done in 2 minutes as well, believe me. I'm doing it on my way to work, which takes me 2 minutes to walk to. What else about the workshop? The workshop costs are $390. As I said, 10-hour total workshop, 10 hours, with later on with the access to recordings, with the access to me, also for some help, and I know with the access to the Facebook group, private Facebook group, where we are having more resources, where we are having recordings from other previous workshops, where we are having updates to the technique. As the technique develops, there could be some updates as we move on, so you can listen and apply them to yourself as you are working. I really strongly invite you. Like, it took me 7-8 months to speak about this technique openly, openly to English audience. I've been in the Polish group for over 2 years. I've been among Polish guides for over 2 years. I've been active guide and active instructor, as recently doing workshops already in Polish, meaning with the creators of this. By the way, the creators of this technique are David Weideman, Diana Chero, and Iva Zeczkova, and they are stationed, their headquarters is in Poland. However, they are really they are active in the entire Europe, and we have guides all over the Europe, and we have guides also here in the States. One of them is Monika Dulian, which is amazing person, which you could also reach out to if you are looking for some type of help like that. Anyway, I will post all these informations also down below. Down below, either this video or in another post. I don't know about live Instagram, how is that possible, but also on Facebook, so you have access to it. I already created an event for that workshop, so you can read more information, what's included, what's the schedule, when it's happening, what is the price, so that way you could look into it. And if you are interested, PM me, DM me, because the payment is happening via PayPal. You can use also credit card because I can send you an invoice via PayPal or via Square. So the payment options are open for anybody of you, and we would be for 3 days together, meeting in the very beautiful sacred space. It is beautiful. It is the workshops I did in Polish are amazing. A word amazing doesn't express basically how I feel, how other people feel, and what's happening. The processes, especially the sessions that are given to you, the group session or the individual session you are receiving from me, are boom, boom, explosive, amazing. So I think that would be it. That would be it for today, for now. Thank you for being here. Oh my goodness. There are a couple of people, several people watching. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy that I could connect with you. I'm not going to extend this for anymore. I'm sending you love, and please hug yourself today with every part of you. Hug yourself deeply, and if you do have any questions, let me know. If you want to share this video with other people, please share either my profile. I'm going to upload this video also on YouTube, so hopefully that word can be spread out. I'm ready for this to be spread out. I've seen the benefits of it in my life, and I'm not going to hide it anymore from the world. Yeah. I love you all, and talk to you later. Bye.